he's still Abram here. When they went to burn him, everybody came out. It was a scene. Women and children. Come on, folks. We've seen in the books, the pictures, when they went to hang African Americans. What do you see in the crowd? Men, women, and children. That's suffrage. They just didn't make them suffer. They had to put them in hot tar. They had to set them on fire. They did all the heinous acts that they could do. Why? To bring about suffrage. It was not bad enough that you brought this group of people from a home, you kidnapped them, brought them to a country they didn't want to be in, enslaved them, sodomized the men in front of the wives and the children, raped the wives, the mothers, took women who were 9 months pregnant and cut their stomachs open, tied them to trees, cut the stomach open, let the baby fall out and suffocate, and the mother bleeds to death watching her baby suffocate. Suffrage. Suffrage in America. It hasn't gone anywhere. The reason is because the children were there watching it, so now the children start to behave in the manner of the parents. Let's continue. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Sodom and Gomorrah, Jasher 19:8. When a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold and cause a proclamation. Oh, I said it last night. I don't know why when I go swimming I can't pronounce proclamation. Proclamation. All right, you got it. In the whole city, and not to give him a morsel of bread to eat. And if the stranger should remain there some days and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, then at his death all the people of the city would come and take their silver and gold, which they had given him. Again, what are we talking about again? We're talking about food. We're talking about starving someone to death. Why? Because of suffrage. They get into suffrage. They give him gold and silver, and you know that you're sitting there with gold and silver. Ooh, I'm rich. But you can't buy any food to eat. So they let you starve to death. Let's continue. Jasher 19:33. 3 men went out of the place in which they had concealed, and they seized Paltith, Paltith. This is Lot's daughter. And the bread which was in the poorest man's hand. Okay, poor man comes to town. He's really a visitor. He's not really a poor man. She sees him. She offers him something to eat. They find out what she's doing, and they don't like it. So what do they do to Paltith? The people of Sodom and Gomorrah assembled and kindled a fire in the street of the city, and they took the woman and cast her into the fire, and she was burned to ashes. For feeding someone, they burnt her to ashes. Why do you think they take the cell phone, and when you go buy something, they keep track of what you're buying? You think that's so when you walk into the store, we already know that she wants cereal? No. That is so. Once they go to the cashless society, and they tell you to go do something and you don't do it. Let's say a family member tries to buy something for you. They already know that that family member does not eat potato chips. You eat potato chips. So they know they're taking that food for you. So they're punishing you and the relative. It's no difference here. It's coming. And they do it through food. Why? Because of suffrage. These are unnatured children who've never gone without. But one thing they hate is that you're not suffering. Because that's their only enjoyment. They don't get any enjoyment out of more cars. You think the owner of Amazon, Walmart, and those guys get more thrills out of another new house? Are you kidding? They're paying cash for that mess. They don't get a thrill out of another Rolls Royce, another gold watch. They get thrill out of your suffrage. By you suffering, that is their thrill. Let's continue. Jasher, 1942. The people of those cities assembled and brought out the young woman and anointed her with honey. This is, I kind of spoke a little earlier, but this is the woman where the stranger comes into town. He's not a poor man, he's just a stranger. And the woman decides to give him some food. It's a no, that's against the law. So what do? They bring the young woman out and anoint her from head to toe with honey. That's what the judges decreed. In order for this to happen, you have to have judges involved. You then have men who are going to react. You have women and children who stand by and watch. I was told by an older African American woman, what stopped slavery was the white woman. The white woman would listen to her slaves tell her about the harsh treatment that she's going through. These white women who had kind hearts would lay in bed with their husbands and tell their husbands about these stories. The husbands couldn't take it no more. Why? One, baby won't shut up, and two, she's got her legs crossed. All you women have to do, if you want to clean up America, cross your legs. You cannot stop human trafficking of women because you have women who human traffic women. You cannot stop prostitution of women because what? You have women who prostitute women. You have to have women stop the behavior. And they can get the men to stop it. Why? Just cross your legs, baby. That's all you have to do. Okay, let's continue. The woman is placed before a swarm of bees which were in their hives, and the bees flew up on the woman and stung her whole body, and she swelled. Jasher, 1943. The young woman cried out on account of the bees, but no one took notice of her or pitied her, and her cries ascended to heaven. That's where you messed up. See, once those cries go up to heaven, you're in trouble because heaven listens. Her crying there in front of the people, they didn't listen. African American being burned to death, being dipped in hot tar, hollered and screamed. They didn't care. It didn't bother them. But those going to heaven listen. When those cries and tears go up to heaven, they listen. Okay. Let's show you something. And so what are we talking about, Anthony? We're talking about the unnatured child. What does the unnatured child do? He likes to bring suffrage upon you. How is the best way he likes to bring suffrage upon you? Is by freezing you to death or starving to death. How do we know that this is a practice? We're going back to Sodom and Gomorrah. And what did they do in the Sodom and Gomorrah? They would not give you food if you were a stranger. They would give you gold and silver, watch you starve to death, but they would not give you food. That's suffrage. Let me show you a little more suffrage here. Abram did what he did, upset the king. What does the king want to do? He wants to throw him in the fire. Does he just go out and start a barbecue fire like you normally do? No. This fire has been burning for 3 days. I can tell you, my barbecue fire that's been burning for 3 hours, I can't fathom 3 days. I don't have any meat left. Okay, right here real quick. Okay, let's continue. And this is someone who you know is very famous, but really endured suffrage. Then Pilate had Jesus flogged with the lead-tipped whip, or Yahusha. You call him Jesus, my Bible will call him Yahusha, because it doesn't have the letter J in it. You didn't just beat him with the whip. You had to have lead tips. And remember they said they had those hooks so it could rip the skin. Why? Suffrage. Whipping someone is not enough suffrage? No. You have to rip the flesh. The soldiers created a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put a purple robe on him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they mocked as they slapped him across his face. Wait a minute. One innocent man hasn't done anything wrong. This man isn't even rich. His family, you know, there was a bunch of carpenters, but his family's not even rich. Dude, you're taking an innocent man because you didn't like what he was teaching. The church didn't like what he was teaching. They call him, oh, the Pharisees. Don't listen to that Pharisees mess. The Sadducees. They were church people. And the church people put him to death. Wake up on this. And you couldn't just put him to death. You had to be very heinous. Like setting somebody on fire, putting honey on someone and putting them in front of bees, creating a fire for 3 days to throw them in the fire. It always is severe suffrage. Who causes this suffrage? The rich. And how does it happen to you? You vote for it. You create your own suffrage. You go to UnNatured children who's never gone without, and you go begging them for education, begging them for something to eat, begging them for housing. They've never had these issues in their life. And you're going to someone begging, and you call that politics? You call that the American system? You don't put an unnurtured child above you. Go find some nurtured children. They're not going to be wearing fancy suits. They don't have the big campaign donations, but they're not going to bring death upon you. The only thing that an unnurtured child can bring upon you is death, suffrage. He doesn't know anything about I love you. He doesn't know anything about being hugged. Because why? He was raised by nannies. Mom and daddy is always gone. They're wealthy. You got nannies taking care of you. This ain't your mama. This is not your father. This is some stranger that your parents paid to watch you. This is not like the poor child. He's got an uncle ain't working. Yeah, uncle came over to look after you for $10. Auntie that's not really doing much. Grandma who's home. That's love there because it's someone you know and they care about you. They have an interest in you. Let's continue. Pilate went outside again and said to the people, I'm going to bring him out to you now, but understand clearly that I find him not guilty. I'm talking about Jesus. I find him not guilty. Yahusha. He ain't guilty. Then Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, and Pilate said, Look, here is the man. When they saw him, the leading priests and temple guards began shouting, Crucify him, crucify him. Take him yourselves and crucify him, Pilate said. I find him not guilty. The Jewish leaders replied, By our law, he ought to die because he called himself the Son of God. Suffrage, bringing suffrage is what it is. And it's not just suffrage. We got to be heinous in that suffrage. We got to bring pain and torture upon that individual. We can't just let that individual have a wonderful time. We can't just let him get away. We have to bring suffrage. So when you vote, you bring your own suffrage. Because you vote for an unnurtured child to watch over a nurtured child. And the only thing an unnurtured child can bring you is death. He has all the money in the world. He has all the food. He's got all the clothing and the beds and the jewelry and the cars and the homes. He does not have love. So he does not have love for you. He could care less. Okay. So this is what you have to understand. And this is my point of view. The Democratic Party has no incentive to raise African Americans out of poverty because money is made from their suffrage. It's made from their suffrage. How long have they been talking about jobs? When last time you heard them talk about food? You don't. That's your grandma's story they used to tell. Maybe your mama. When last time you heard a Democrat talk about jobs, talk about food? You don't. And the African Americans run to them and get their suffrage. What do they receive when they go to these people? They get drugs in their communities. They get guns in their community. Poor education. poor quality food, high crime. Since the 80s, baby, since the 80s. That's over 40-something years of running to the same group of people, and your community is deteriorating even more. And the way they keep you in check is by the talk of, well, if you go over there, you might run into the KKK. What they gonna do for you? So what you do is you stay back in your little community and you enjoy the suffrage that they allow to come upon you. The church causes suffrage and benefits from your suffrage. These all cause suffrage, and people make money from their suffrage. The church has no incentive to stop the suffrage of African Americans because of the money that's made from funerals, not weddings. Those black preachers are rich off of funerals, from all the drive-bys and the shootings and whatever else. There's no incentive to change this behavior. There's no incentive to start teaching the young African American woman that she needs to save herself for marriage. Why? Because of the money that's made off abortion. Now she needs counseling. The aborted fetus, the aborted child, because fetus means child in Greek. Fetus means child. Fetus means baby. Let's get that straight. So now there's counseling she has to go through. They're making money off of the baby parts. Suffrage. They will bring suffrage on an unborn child and not give him an opportunity to survive, to live. Suffrage, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this is about. The unnatured child bringing suffrage upon you. And you vote for it. So enjoy it. So if right now you're suffering, just think about how you voted. You voted for that suffrage because you went to the group that was supposed to relieve your suffrage from food, housing, clothing, or whatever. But if you notice, they just increased the suffrage upon you by not doing anything. And then all they had to do was say, you need to stay away from him because he's racist. And he might do this to you and do that to you. What? He might not do a thing for you, and where you're at, they're not doing anything for you. So you're caught in a trap of suffrage. Remember, money is made off your suffrage. Funerals, being locked up in prison, investigations, all that suffrage. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough of me. And let you get back to your world. But remember, the unnurtured child enjoys suffrage of other people. And that's the only enjoyment they get. So when you go out and you're talking about the billionaires and the trillionaires, you can sure bet they're going to bring more suffrage upon you. Because their enjoyment is not material possession anymore. They have enough. The only enjoyment is the loss of your life. This is Anthony Shoulders for No Women in Heaven. You be safe and take care. Thank you.